Good afternoon, Senator Bonasic and Senator Valesky. Good afternoon, too, to other members of the committee and the legislature. My name is Reginald Neal. I live at 6032 County Road 41 in Farmington, New York, and I've been a New York State resident all my life. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm the first speaker from our organization to testify. We have other speakers lined up to deliver remarks at the hearing scheduled for Albany and Suffolk County, and plan to have someone deliver additional remarks at your hearing scheduled for New York City. While there will be some commonality in our remarks, each of us will be delivering part of our organization's entire list of recommendations. Please extend our thanks to Senator Malcolm Smith as well. It took a lot of courage for Senator Smith to step up to the challenges and potential threats to his power that rule changes might imply. We are hopeful that this committee and the leaders of the Senate will continue to be courageous by building an open and inclusive decision-making process in the Senate. Such a change will break the hold that the Senate Majority Leader and Assembly Speaker have had on the legislative process for so long, and will bring citizens back into the partnership of governing. Also, please accept our congratulations for your recent decision to hire Andrew Stengel, formerly the Brennan Center, to serve as Senior Policy Advisor for Government Reform. The addition of Mr. Stengel to your staff demonstrates your commitment to change. I'm a member of Citizens for a Better New York, a volunteer not-for-profit organization based in Rochester with members throughout the state. Our mission is to advocate for the well-being of New Yorkers. Our organization's vision is to make our state's public structures more effective and efficient. We seek these improvements in our public structures because we want a state where all citizens can happily live, work, learn, play, and prosper. People normally think of their public structures as the highways, bridges, parks, and waterways that support our transportation and recreation systems. However, our public structures also include our courts that assure a fair way to resolve differences, and our regulations that keep commerce organized and functional. The quality of life and economic success of all New Yorkers depends on the public structures we have all created. At the heart of these public structures is our legislature. This is where all citizens are represented in the process that decides on the laws and establishes the framework and allocates the financial resources necessary to support all the activities that make a healthy, prosperous New York. It is the legislature that helps all New Yorkers achieve our quality of life and economic success. One of the legislature's important roles is to look after all these public structures and institutions and to make sure they are doing their job. Thank you and all the other members of the Senate for having the vision and courage to take the time to evaluate how the Senate works and to consider what changes might make it work better. Our members believe that the well-being of New York citizens can be enhanced if we can accomplish the 4 R's. The 4 R's are rules changes in the legislature to restore representative democracy in a legislature that has been described as the most dysfunctional in the nation. Redistricting to require an independent, nonpartisan commission to establish competitive districts that make sense and ensure accountability. Referendum and initiative to establish a check and balance process that gives citizens greater voice for influencing public policy. Reclaim fair elections to implement clean money, clean election laws that provide public money for state election campaigns if a candidate agrees to strict spending limits. It is common knowledge that the New York State Legislature is dysfunctional. You are all well aware of the reports prepared and published by the Brennan Center for Justice at the NYU School of Law. You may also recall the comments by FBI Special Agent Pikus on the occasion of the recent indictment of former Senate Majority Leader Bruno. Agent Pikus commented that the investigators faced, this is a direct quote, significant difficulties in overcoming the lack of transparency in New York State government. He continued, the FBI will continue to root out public corruption within the New York State government to ensure the integrity of the legislative process, end quote. If the FBI has such a difficult time understanding what's going on, you can see why citizens' eyes glaze over when there's a discussion about how the legislature works and what it accomplishes. Put yourself in the shoes of a prospective employer thinking about New York as a place to relocate or start a business. Knowing about these reports and the poor performance of the legislature, how might this employer view coming to New York? These negative comments about the performance of the legislature should serve as powerful motivators for groups of legislators, businesses, and citizens to work together. These groups must cooperate in pressing for changes that improve our legislature's ability to work in concert with the other sectors of our state's community for our mutual benefit. We shouldn't leave the evaluation of the integrity of the legislative process to the FBI. We should do it ourselves. In order to move the legislature to its rightful place as the most effective public structure in the state, we offer the following ideas. Change the internal Senate rules to implement the recommendations of the Brennett Center. Highlights include empower committees. Sample recommendations of the Brennan Center are mandatory attendance at all meetings by committee members, increasing the flexibility for calling for hearings, recording and filing of committee proceedings. Bills reported out should have a detailed public report, and all bills reported out should be reported by the standing committee rather than just by the Rules Committee. As Woody Allen said, 80% of success is showing up. Once there, senators should be empowered to conduct the business of a legislative committee the way committees are supposed to work, as we all learned in elementary and middle school.